Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jamie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas Longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today.
So Jamie, today we're going to talk about the Texoma sale. Do you want to start by telling everyone the location and date?
Yep, so the location is the same as it's been for the past several years. It's in Ardmore, Oklahoma, at the Red River Sale Barn.
And there's two hosts for this sale, right?
Yes, it is Bob and Pam Loomis, and then Dale Hunt and Cheryl Cadell are the sale hosts. And then there's also Futurity that's hosted by the ITTLA.
And I believe we've donated something to the silent auction.
Yes, we did. We donated a simple website setup. So for anyone interested in getting a site, there's your chance at the sale to put in an offer.
And so going back to the sale, can you tell us a little bit about who the auctioneer is, maybe who's doing hauling, all of those sorts of details?
Definitely. So the auctioneer is Bruce McCarty. Dale Hunt, of course, is reading commentary. And then Lori McCarty will be in the sale office handling everything that you need there. As far as cattle handling in the back, it will be Donnie Taylor. But then the haulers are Wes Clark, Ron Bailey, and Chase Fasoot.
And all of their numbers can be found in the sale catalog. And then we also usually promote those on Hired Hand Live, which we're doing the internet bidding for this sale as well.
Correct. Yep.
Is there anything else you think we should share with our listeners before we bring in Josh for the interview?
Maybe let's just run over the schedule here just real quick. On Thursday, the Futurity cattle and the sale cattle can both arrive. And then on Friday, the Futurity starts at noon. There'll be cow petty bingo, and then, like we talked about, some silent auction items. On Friday, the sale cattle can arrive all day, and Saturday, the sale begins at 1 p.m. And then on Sunday, all cattle have to be loaded out by noon.
Perfect. So we'll see everyone there, and let's ask Josh some questions.
Sounds great. So welcome, Josh. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to join us and talk about the Texoma sale.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. So let's dive in here quick and let's talk about why you choose to be a sponsor of the Texoma sale every year. And then I think you've also consigned in recent years as well.
Yeah, this sale's always been a pretty special sale for us. It was one of the first sales we attended. It was the Red River sale at the time. We brought home some of our first bighorn cattle out of this sale, and more importantly, we made more connections in this Longhorn industry through this sale. As far as meeting folks, this is a really, really diverse group of folks from all over the country with the Futurity involved in the sale. So it's a great outlet for exposure, and it's a great sale to support.
So in recent years, when you've consigned to this sale, what do you look for in the animals that you consign to this sale in particular?
This sale in particular, I believe genetics and location are a really big role in how well you're going to do in a sale. This particular sale, as with any quality consignment, you kind of want total package animal. I want a structurally sound animal that is going to be able to travel, that's going to carry a calf, that's going to milk a calf real good. But horn is really important in this sale, which we're trying to grow bigger, we're trying to grow better. But as far as this particular sale goes, outside genetics that aren't available in this area may do better, that are not as in reach in this area as they are on, say, the East Coast, and vice versa. So picking quality animals and putting the genetics where you want them and where you think they will succeed is probably one of the more important things I look at in this sale.
Are there any genetics in particular that you can think of that?
Well, if you look at genetics that are available in South Central Oklahoma, you know, a lot of Bob's stuff is available. I mean, his ranch is only 15 minutes from the venue. Dale stuff is available. You know, when you come to this area, those are genetics that are pretty easy to get hold of, and people in this area can get a hold of them fairly easily. So when you start introducing bulls from Nancy Dunn's place and Jimmy Jones' place and Ann Gravitt's place back here to South Central Oklahoma or Northern Texas, people that are here and local that are going to be bidding on these animals, one, it's kind of a no-brainer. They're going to buy those animals because they're already here. They're not looking to load those animals in the East Coast and bring them back here. They're already here. So to me, that's important at any sale. Bringing the proper genetics to the proper location seems to make a pretty big difference.
Do you have any of those outside genetics that are in the sale this year? Do you have your eye on any of them?
I'm keeping my cards close to my chest. But yes, there are some from far out that'll be nice that they'll be here in my backyard. You know, I don't have to travel to go see them. They'll be here. But yes, there are outside genetics that greatly influence somebody's herd by just being able to go down the road to the sale and pick one up.
Right. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk more specifically about the sale itself. What do you look forward to every year about this sale, or what do you enjoy the most?
Oh, my favorite part of this sale is, one, we combine a futurity and the sale together, which when you do that, especially with our heifer futurity, the quality of the sale cattle are there. And then, you know, people are paying money to bring these heifers this futurity, so they're picking their best. So you end up with, you know, say 70 sale cattle and 150 futurity entries. You know, that's 220 of the industry's top-notch females all gathered in one place. Being that those futurity are not for sale, it's still really nice to be able to walk down the pens and see all of them in person. That's, you know, a whole lot different than looking on somebody's website or asking them for an updated picture. Having that many quality animals compiled in one barn and being able to see all of them is probably my favorite part of the sale. When you look at that many quality animals in one place, it kind of makes you think, or it lets you know what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong. And there's a lot of information, if you're looking, that you can bring back home to your program to figure out what you need to tweak one way or the other. Probably seeing those females together and processing that information is one of my favorite parts of the sale.
So I know you said that this was one of the first sales that you attended, but when you first started attending, it was called the Red River Sale. Do you remember the exact year that you started attending, or how many years have you been going to this sale?
I believe it was 2016 was the first year we went to this sale.
Okay. So for 5-ish years, this will be your 6th year?
Yeah, this will be the 6th year. And then it was Rick Frederick and Chris Clark. I mean, it was a nice sale then too, but switched over to Dale and Bob's Texoma sale. It's the same sale with a different name. And it, you know, some of those people faded out of the breed or got old, but they made big impacts and big strides to put this together. And I'm really happy that it's being carried on and supported the way that it is.
So can you tell us the first time that you consigned an animal to the sale, and what have you learned since that time?
We consigned in 2018, I think, or 2019. We put a cow in there. Kate's Ida Red was a big red daughter, and she was on track to grow all kinds of horns. Just a really, really thick, nice female. And Dale told me, if you don't regret selling them, you probably don't need to put them in the sale. Well, we put her in the sale and she did good, and she went all the way to the East Coast. She's with a guy in Charlotte, Cody now, she would have been she is a 70-inch 3-year-old, or was a 70-inch 3-year-old, which would have been the biggest we'd raised that point. And I still regret selling that cow. If she ever comes up for sale again, I'm probably going to buy her. But that was our first sale consignment, and it was a good one. It kind of hurt to let her go. What we've learned since then is I did it right the first time. We got what we wanted. She went to a place that we really approved of. You know, we get that way with our cattle sometimes. We want them to go to places we approve of them going. And that learning experience proved and solidified to me that you put your best in the sale. And when you decide that they're your best and you want to put them in a sale, you need to spend the time and energy promoting them and getting them out there so that the whole world can see them. Support these sales, sponsor these sales, run ads. It all pays in the future. It all pays you back.
Love what you're hearing? Be sure to check out our Pickup Truck Confessions. It's a video series where we hop in the truck or rental car and interview a variety of breeders about what drives their passion for their livestock, how they got started in the breed of their choice, marketing tips, and more. And now, back to the podcast.
So with all of that said, is there any other advice you have for anybody, any new consignor to any of the sales coming up in 2022?
Promote your animals big time. Make sure your pictures are good. And I can't stress that enough. Promote those animals. If you're proud enough to bring them to town, then you have high expectations for them. Treat them as such. You want them on all your social media outlets. You want to share that sale catalog. You want to run as many ads as you can afford for whatever you believe that animal's going to bring. You know, there is a budget there, but if you're putting some of your best in there, you need to be getting them out there and sharing that across all your social media networks and paying for ads if you think it'll help you. But e-blasts, things like that, they all help. The worst thing I think you can do is put a good animal in a sale and just hope that somebody shows up with a big checkbook and decides they want your cow that you've promoted zero, and you draw all kinds of money for it. It's probably not going to happen. Get them cattle in good shape, get them up, get them promoted, and stand behind what you bring to the sale, and you'll usually do much better.
So when you promote the animals on social media, what kind of images do you share? Do you share only the animal? Do you share videos? Kind of walk people through what you do when you share things on social media.
One thing I look for, and this is why I share this, is I'll post a video of the animal, maybe with a calf. If we say she's bred, well, here's a video of her and her last calf, and her bag was this big, and the calf is this big. Make sure they're up against things where people can gauge their size, say a 6-foot fence or a 5-foot round bale of hay, or something that people are going to be able to get a scope of how big or small this animal is. I really like to focus on a video of the animal over pictures. Pictures are good, but when you can see the mobility of the animal, you can see the docility of that animal. Videos seem to really help a lot. I look for videos and consignments when people are promoting their animals, so I try to videos of our animals.
So do you have a favorite animal that has sold at this sale that you either maybe didn't get or one that you had sold yourself?
Our first consignment for this sale, that Kate's Ida Red, she's still my favorite. And you know, I can't say that I wish I never would have consigned her because I'm happy with where she's at. But just, you know, I lean on Dale Hunt's advice quite a bit. Said it better hurt to let one go. And that one there will always be the favorite, you know, until something else comes along that's going to take a lot. That's my favorite animal that I have sold, and the one I regret the most about getting rid of. And I'm happy that they were able to sell her, and I'm happy that Guy and Charlotte were able to pick her up to. You know, that's really important to me, is that you're going to move an animal that somebody else is going to be profitable with. You know, corn is great, conformation's great. When you throw all that stuff together, you end up with good cattle. But at the end of the day, you need to sell something to somebody that you know or feel confident that they're going to be able to make money on. And that is one of those cows. She'll make money for a long time to come. So that's the cow, Kate Cider Red.
So for people who are coming out of town and want someplace to go eat or something to do, maybe outside of the sale once everything is done for the weekend, is there anything that you could suggest for people?
A lot of people that come to the sale like to visit other ranches that are close by, and there's a lot of really big breeders in this area, and they're always open to people visiting. That's a real popular thing to do. We usually get several people that come through due to the sale and their close proximity. Tishomingo, Oklahoma is pretty close. There's Blake Shelton's restaurant, Old Red, shopping. That's about 45 minutes from the sale barn. And another popular place is Robertson's Beef Jerky in Marietta. They sell all the beef jerky for Loves, really good beef jerky. A lot of people go there to get it, but they've also got a restaurant with sandwiches and things like that. And then Windstar is right down the road. If I don't know if John Randolph left him any money to give you, but everybody always seems to like going to Windstar too. So there's several things to do that are pretty close here. Always
So
something to keep you entertained.
So when you mentioned there's several breeders that are pretty close by, you yourself live fairly close to Marietta or Ardmore. Yep. And then Dale Hunt.
Yeah, he lives we both live probably 20 minutes from the sale barn.
Okay.
Bob Loomis is 15 minutes from the sale barn. Monty and Melissa Beershank are really close. If you got on your Hired Hand Beacon app, you would see several breeders that are within 45 minutes of this venue. And it's always good to get out and go see those cattle, you know.
Yep. I think probably the closest one to the sale would be Hickory Creek.
Yep.
Missy now.
Mark and Missy now, they're probably 3 minutes.
Yeah, they're super close.
Yeah. And she's got a lot of neat stuff. She just bought Bucklehead, you know, the Guinness Book of World Records steer. Need to go see that kind of stuff. So a big part of these sales and futurities for me are people, you know. It's not necessarily the networking, it's socialization amongst fellow breeders. Going and visiting those folks, a lot of them just sure happy to have you. So if you can do your research before the sale comes, you can probably put together a pretty neat little day trip and see 4 or 5 different places with some pretty nice animals and some even better people.
So is there any last minute thing that you want to mention about the sale that we maybe didn't talk about?
As far as the sale, no, because everything's in for that. There's a lot of quality cattle in there. Do your homework on them sale cattle. The futurity, our deadline is today to get your entries in. We're extending that to March the 5th just due to postal service constraints. So if you're just now getting it in the mail today, I think we're not going to take it. So as long as it's postmarked by the 5th, you should be good. We've got a lot of quality in that futurity too. From what I've seen coming in, the competition is going to be really, really stiff this year. We're always trying to make that futurity bigger and better. And remember too, with the futurity, if you're a class winner in the futurity, you're eligible to sell in the sale. All class winners are eligible to be sold in the sale. Another thing with the futurity, it's one of my favorite parts of this deal. We've got our new couple of year old lady class, 9-year-old cattle and older, so we can kind of see some of these high powered dames, where these heifers are coming from, and see what these heifers are going to look like in the future. and our Sawyer Spotlight, which is something new that we've done. Sawyer showed an animal. I made all the judges sit there for 5 minutes after the futurity and let Sawyer walk an animal through one year, and she loved it. So now we've got it's called the Sawyer Spotlight, but you can sign your kids up. After the futurity, the judges will stay there, and a parent and their kid can lead an animal into the sale ring, be judged, and leave the sale ring. And I think it really promotes young kids being able to get some time in a sale ring in front of people with an animal, to keep these kids active and showing. So those are all kind of my last minute things to bring up.
So you mentioned Sawyer. So for people who aren't familiar with you and your program and your family, Sawyer is your daughter, and you own Plain Dirt Farms. You want to tell people a little bit about your program and what you have going on?
Well, we started this deal, we've raised cattle, but we started the Longhorn deal because I believe it holds our family together. These two girls just love them. When we had black cows, they really didn't care to go look at them, see them, check on them, whatever. We raise Longhorns now, and in my world, we're becoming profitable. But the bigger deal is we're enjoying what we're doing together as a family, and raising these cattle kind of is something, all three of us get together and enjoy and have some common ground, some common time, and time is really important in a family, spending that time together. But we bale a lot of what I call feed value forage, hay that's grown, that's specifically forage for feed. It's not just hay, it's got a feed value to it. And we really strive to do things as natural as we can. And one of the things that's as natural as we can get it is how we feed our cattle. And we really get super involved in cattle nutrition, and we try to spread that to other folks. And we've got a lot of other Longhorn breeders now that are feeding a lot of our hay and noticing big difference in the performance of their animals when they're on a forage diet that's actually good hay. We harvest about 5,000 pecan trees, so we spend a lot of time in pecan orchards and doing that. We did have honey, and we'll probably get back into that. But we pretty well are a farm that caters to niche market crops. And the girls are involved in almost every end of it, which is, like I said, the most important thing to me.
And when you say the girls, you mean Kit, your wife,
Kit
and then Sawyer.
Yeah, my wife Kit and my daughter Sawyer. Yep. They may not enjoy every end of it, but they're involved in every end.
Well, thanks, Josh, again, for taking some time out of your day to talk about the Texoma sale. If anybody is interested, I'm sure you'll have your doors wide open so anybody can come visit during the Texoma sale.
Absolutely. Just give us a holler and we'd be sure to accommodate you. And if anybody needs to drop off cattle before the sale or whatever, my number is pretty widely published there, so we can sure accommodate anybody that's having any problems or anything getting here or leaving here. So,
well, perfect. Well, we'll see you, Kit, and Sawyer, and everyone else in Ardmore in the beginning of April.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thanks, Josh.